Okay, we are right now in the 2024/25 facelifted Hyundai Santa Fe 1.6 Turbo Hybrid in the Max variant. There are three variants here in Malaysia. We have the Hybrid Plus, Hybrid Max, both are petrol, turbo petrol 1.6, and the Turbo Diesel Max, which comes in a 2.2 liter turbo diesel and also all-wheel drive instead of just front-wheel drive, like all the petrol variants. These two petrol variants. Price for this Turbo Hybrid Max is 215,418 whatever, and 5-year 300,000 km warranty, whichever comes first. And in case of the HEV battery, since this is a hybrid petrol and hybrid SUV, 7 seats, you get 8 years unlimited mileage warranty on the battery. So basically good, you save on battery cost and the worry of trying to save up money for a spare battery after about 8 years of this one, after about 5-6 years, and basically peace of mind kind of thing. Anyway, I like hybrids because basically you can drive it like a normal petrol powered or diesel powered, any fossil powered car, and you get the range of and efficiency also all in one package. Of course, the problem is you got like one engine, a petrol engine, and an electric motor, 2 power plants instead of 1, but it just extend the range to around, from what I can see, even after a few days of testing and driving, easily you can easily manage 800 to 900 kilometers easily on a single tank. Maybe if you are lucky, 1,000 kilometers. And this is why I like hybrids or plug-in hybrids as over full EVs, because I'm kind of lazy in terms of charging. But if you are the kind of you want to adopt it first and you like charging every few days depending on your commute, could be up to a week or a few days depending on your mileage. But because most electric cars have a range of 400 kilometers or under, this is a nice compromise, don't you think so? So anyway, before we drive, I have to tell you a bit about the car. Since I'm getting this from Hyundai Malaysia, let's get it over with. This is a D segment 7-seater SUV. It's very spacious, definitely, and high efficiency, up to 1,000 kilometers from only 67 liters, basically one tank of fuel. I think the tank is about 60 liters thereabouts. 1.6 liter turbocharged hybrid engine, 230 horsepower, about 350 Newton meters torque, which is actually quite good already. You get slightly around 2.0 liter turbocharged performance from a 1.6 liter SUV, and we'll get into the driving part later after I settle all this. So as I say, 8-year battery warranty. Unique to this petrol version, you don't have a shift knob, you've got push buttons, and nice high center console. The styling is nice, typical Hyundai interior, a lot of blue tints everywhere. It's an upgraded over if you've been inside the 2016, 17, 18 Hyundai Ioniq and all. It's quite similar in architecture and all, but it's like a generation newer. Of course, I would like to have it been slightly better, maybe a slimmer infotainment display, but aside from that, everything is good. It's basically an Apple CarPlay Android Auto system. So exterior wise, very nice front end. You know that the current architecture and styling cues come from the Kona and thereabouts, with the split main lights and also the driving lights on top. So it's a very nice distinctive look, and you know it's a Hyundai. The overall shape is nice, I kind of like it. The LED lights are of course very nice. Now side profile, definitely nice. Very continental, very European. I'll get to the driving also, which is actually very continental and very European. So this Hybrid Max and Hybrid Plus will come with 19-inch wheels. Hybrid Max 19-inch wheel, Hybrid Plus in 17-inch wheels. The diesel 2.2 gets big, really big 20-inch wheels. So very nice styling and all. Overall, it's modern, it's contemporary, shouldn't be outdated after maybe even in 10 years time, it has that continental styling, you know, European and all. So interior wise, I like soft touch plastics. Hyundai Santa Fe, I've driven a few over the years, over the generations. Very nice layout in terms of what you want. Even the steering controls I like things like you have the lane keep assist, which is just a button, push button whether you want it or not. Adaptive cruise control, which is actually very good. So everything's very ergonomic and nice. Definitely like the car. So yeah, hybrid system is smart. I'll get into the driving details later. And of course we've got ADAS and all, blind spot sensors, various cameras. You have the digital instrument cluster, which can change when you give a signal. You will show on the right meter, the right side hidden spots, blind spots, and on the left side when you give the left signal. So the thing is, it's quite nice but it's also gimmicky because you have side mirrors and you can see. So you have to actually pick and choose, and I think it's good for low speeds only, not really for something where you have to change, do high speed lane changes, because it's basically on that point of a blind spot but lower down. So, and in terms of ADAS and all, it's level 2 assist, so the cruise control is actually very good, very adaptive, very intuitive. Even traffic that cuts in while you're piloting in traffic jams works very well. So it's a very decent car to have for whatever I think. So I'll give you a report on how it drives after this. Right, now we are in the drive part of this Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid Max review. So 19-inch wheels, 230 horsepower TS, 350 Nm torque. This is combined from the 1.6 engine and the electric motor. So engine makes about 180 horsepower PS and about 230 Nm of torque. So when you combine, you get a nice whopping 350 Nm of torque, and also 230 horsepower. So it's like good figures. It's basically like a turbocharged 2-liter engine on normal tune. So coupled with a very nice chassis, very continental in feel, Germanic in fact, not even French, because I recently tried out the 408 and this is definitely better than the French crossover thingy, the 408. So this is a damn good car to drive, the SUV. 7-seaters, yes, but the rear seats are basically for your teenagers and not for carrying your aunties and uncles or even your mother. Because if you love them, don't pack them in the rear, because lack of leg room. Those are like nice jump seats for this one, easy to take out and fold back and all. Hyundai also gives you a rear mat over the seats when you lay them flat, so that you don't dirty the seat back and all. So nice and all. But as I said, the thing about this car is how it drives. The driving is good. The acceleration from 350 Nm is actually very good. The steering is very responsive for something which is supposedly a D segment SUV. So I'm very happy with ADAS and whatever specs they have in terms of this car. But in terms of drivability, chuckability, how we will throw this car around, it is surprisingly agile and nimble for what it is. So it's down to one good chassis tuning, great sitting position, also I suppose suspension tuning definitely, and also that engine power. So you've got a 1.6 liter engine with a hybrid motor boosting it up to a 2 liter turbocharged performance thereabouts, and it does feel that way. So in terms of agility, fantastic. So in terms of how they package the drivetrain and all, I don't feel, this is the thing about this latest generation of SUVs or hybrids, let's put it that way. They have tuned it in such a way that it actually handles very well in terms of how it turns and all. It is nimble. Steering is also very responsive, and the front end seems to be very planted, so you feel confident in corners and in turns. Yeah, I'm granted, I'm telling you, in a traffic jam right now, I'm in a housing area with a lot of traffic. This is basically the last day. Unfortunately, it's a short session by Hyundai Santa Fe Malaysia, providing this car. Thank you very much, but still too short to say for me to take a trip down to Penang and all. But it's very nice, it's very nimble. I also managed to let my friend try out, who is a Hyundai Ioniq hybrid owner.
So nice,
he likes the car.
But the suspension,
he's also a BMW 7 Series owner, so he likes the car. He says it's very European, continental, he says. But I'd say it's more Germanic. It is closer to say like you're driving.
Which is good lah. I always like Hyundai because of that.
Pricing is about the same, because this is a 200,000 ringgit car thereabouts. So it drives like a German kind of car, not French at all. So this is what I like about this car. So coupled with the agility and all, it makes this D segment car feel nimble and drive like a C segment car or something like a compact SUV. So rather like you're talking about, if in Malaysia, instead of say maybe an X90, Proton X90, or it feels more hand in hand like an X50 SUV, a compact SUV, a C segment SUV. But then again, X50, no, it's more X. It's in fact better than the X70. Let's put it that way, because it has the power. So whereas the X70 is a C segment large size SUV, but it's only coupled to a 1.5 litre turbocharged engine, you don't get the performance in this car. This one is responsive. The throttle response is good. Power just flows. There is no hiccups. I think there is one downside. If I wish Hyundai could have put in an 8-speed automatic rather than this 6-speed automatic, torque converter based, not CVT, which is nice because it keeps things refined and you get all the refinement and all. And if you had extra gears, it would be even better. Maybe you save even more petrol in this. This is a petrol car, petrol powered car. So if it had 2 more gears or even 1 more gear, 7-speed automatic gearbox, it will be bellissimo. So anyway, let's put it that way. It's very good. It's nimble again. So, and the best thing is, you're talking about the drivetrain, the hybrid mode and all. It's very intuitive in many ways. You can't tell when the petrol engine kicks in or when it's in full EV mode, only by actually telling when you can hear the engine sound, the revs coming in. But there is no starter motor per se. This car, basically Hyundai makes it like where there is no secondary or auxiliary starter motor. It uses the electric motor which powers the car to actually start up the engine as and when required. Right now at the traffic lights, we are in full EV mode. Air conditioning compressor is on. Everything is comfortable and all. Especially in Malaysia, you need the aircon to go on all the time. So anyway, no sudden jerks or change in vibration or harshness and all. Only you can tell that the engine kicks in. You can hear the engine revving up a bit. Soundproofing could be better in the firewall, the bulkhead between the engine and the passenger compartment. But in terms of that, there is a slight drone when, in terms, I think it's gearbox and how the drivetrain works. Between say 40 to 60 kilometers per hour, there will be a slight droning sound, slight noise and all coming from the front end. Very slight, but as a passenger you won't notice. I didn't notice it as passenger. When as driver, I do notice a slight drone from the engine, from the front end. I don't know whether it's a transmission whine or whether it's the induction or whatever, but you do listen to a slight drone from the front end. When you're accelerating, no, but when you are like say in a traffic jam or when the traffic is heavy and you're going at about, when you're not accelerating, then it tends to pick up a bit of drone. Slight, very slight bit. I'm a bit sensitive. Maybe most guys will not feel that sensitivity, but I do. So now we're back on EV mode and We are cruising at about 50 along Lebuh Raya Damansara Puchong LDP. So traffic's bad, but it tends to be good because you can actually cruise up on full EV for, I think, easily 50 kilometers like that in terms of range, I think, on average. But not a problem because this is not a plug-in hybrid, it's just a hybrid. The engine will automatically come in and detect that you need more juice, more this one, they will give you the power. So there are 3 driving modes in this car. The smart mode, in terms of, aside from EV and petrol, all are petrol or both and all, but the 3 drive modes which you can control from the center console, which is quite high and nice enough to put your hands there, your arm there. So 3 drive modes. You have eco mode, which is okay because there's a lot of power here, and somehow it's not one of those super limp smart eco modes and all. So there's also a smart mode, which is what we are on right now most of the time, and also the sport mode, which is actually what you need to use if you want to. I found this out from my friend who owned the Ioniq, to charge up the battery to more than half, because usually batteries in cars like this, you need to keep it optimum for a longer time. So what this car does, the brain of this car, not what the engineers thought about it, is that it needs to keep the battery in optimum charge levels. So it usually sticks to about half charge most of the time. Only when you want full charge, if you need more power all the time, get in sport mode, the engine will come in more often, and you will actually benefit from more performance in the end, and also you will be able to charge the battery slightly more than half. Usually it charges more than half, but when you have full sports mode on, it will increase the charging levels to more than half. So quite a good trick that I learned, because if I didn't know that, I wouldn't have done that. So anyway, it's just a slight switch to sport mode, so to get the battery more than half charge. So fine on that. Driving, other than that, the normal driving, I usually put it in smart. As I said, eco mode is just not necessarily, it feels the same because of in smart mode, it basically detects how you drive the car. 6-speed auto and all, front wheel drive. As I said, the performance is nice, the chassis is good, it's agile, it's nimble. I'd buy this car, this SUV, for its chassis and how it handles. If I say I needed a 200,000 ringgit 7-seater SUV, I think this is a very good choice. It feels so Germanic in terms of how it drives. The comfort levels, the performance levels are so above average for what it is. I've driven quite a few of the latest SUVs and latest cars that came on the market, and this is one of them. This is one of the better SUVs, D segment size, that you can buy, still within the 200,000 ringgit price bracket. Ergonomics is fantastic and all. I think the visibility to the rear and all, with all the additional the cameras and the 360 camera, you can set it on the move. You can have a look at the rear screen now, which I just did. I pressed the button on this one, so can see cars coming in. I've got also blind spot sensors. I've got cross traffic alert. I've also got lane keep assist if I wanted. I've also got the adaptive cruise control, which is actually very good, works very well, and seriously seamless change between EV drive and when you need the power. It all goes in, and it's just, I'm hearing very little road noise from 19-inch wheels. Very important. I'm also think that everything is very, very well laid out. Not much gripes in terms of that. Even how to remove anything from the interior and packaging and all is good. I think Hyundai has definitely learned a lot from their years and years of building cars and all. So in terms of why do you think that they have basically made it into something which I like. Actually, I like European cars nowadays more than Japanese and all. This feels very European. Again, let's go back down the argument. It is not Japanese in terms of feeling. It is not how Mazda would set up their cars. It's not how Honda would set up the cars. I've recently driven the latest HRV down up north to Parit Punta and back, and very good, handles very well. but it has got that, you know, that is a Japanese kind of car. This feels, I would say better, I would say different. It feels Germanic, which is a very good thing in my books nowadays. I am a bit more Eurocentric, I suppose, in terms of how I think and how I like my things nowadays. I used to love to drive a lot of JDMs and all. Started off with a very old Honda Civic back in the day. It wasn't very old those days, in the early 90s. I was in the Honda Civic second generation most of the time. Grew up to a lot of Mitsubishi based Protons and all. A lot of Civics, a lot of other cars, the Subaru, and no complaints on that point. But seriously, this car is a comfortable mile eater, and because it's a hybrid, I'm after 3 full days of driving, doing running errands and all in town, back and forth. Nice. Basically, Sunday was good. I think school started. The New Year just celebrations just ended. People starting to go back to work and all. So the roads were clear on Sunday. I had the chance to take the car up to a bit higher than usual speeds, and I love this car. I'd say the performance of this car, the handling of this car, is what you need. It is something that allows that family man who wants space, because he has like 4 kids, 3 kids, maybe a dog or a cat or 2, a maid or whatever, to travel outstation with them with ease. But on his daily commute, this is sweet. This car is sweet, surprisingly sweet. And the thing is, it's the size. As I said, it does not feel like a D segment car. Even my friend who drives a lot of large cars and all, you see him driving one of this one, says that it feels like a nice compact crossover SUV. And yeah, you might be thinking, why is it still more expensive than, say, the current crop of China cars in the market? Like, say, if you wanted to compare it with, say, even a Jeku or a Omoda C9, or we have the Cherry, the Geely Protons, the J-Tours, the whatever and all. There's balance in it. There's an overall balance. Like, if you're talking about that spider chart thing, we got ride, handling, economy, performance, practicality. This is a nice form of like a 3 to 4 stars out of that 5. So it's like very well sorted out in terms of what a car should be. I like it. I like it. I mean, if you don't like it, that's your choice. You can buy one of the cheaper China cars, you know. But yes, it is comparatively comparable to, say, like if you wanted to buy something like a Volkswagen Tiguan. Oh, yeah. Tiguan with 7 seats. This could be a comparison to it. So, and it's smart. The hybrid mode, whatever, the switch over is fantastic. I like this car for what it is. I'm not so... The only thing I'm against, as I said, the gimmicky secondary functions like the blind spot or the rear camera, when you give it a signal, that's more gimmicky, because you actually have to choose whether you want to look at the side mirror or you want to look down. But I think it works for low speeds. So if you're into low speeds and all, then you use the cameras which are located, which will switch in the instrument cluster. Other than that, I think I'm fine with it. It's gimmicky, but it might be a good gimmick for some people who do a lot of city driving and don't want to curb their car, you know, when they're taking a corner and all. So quite a good thing. Yeah, the blind spot sensor just detected that there was a pillar there because I was doing a turn. So okay, a bit haywire. But aside from that, as I said, slight drone in very low speeds. Maybe depends on when the gearbox is in 3rd gear or 2nd gear at very low speeds. That's a very slight drone, and it would be better if you had great soundproofing in the front end. But that said, when we saw the thing the fenders also had foam already pre-filled in it. So this car is actually very well equipped, very well sorted out by Hyundai. So against the other Chinese cars and all, yes, they might be cheaper, they might have nicer looking floating center panel here. This one is like a semi-floating. It's quite a big thick thing and not frameless and all. You still got your button controls left and right. It does feel like slightly half a generation more dated than say the newer cars with the thin bezels, you know, frameless or thin bezels in terms of the infotainment screen, the floating screen here. This part is fine. I'm fine with it, with the digital instrument cluster. But this and all, but you're talking about it has Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, so I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the physical buttons on the dashboard. Yeah, nice armrest here, but I'm fine with the physical buttons because I actually know what to press. I don't have to go into 3 sub menus to find whatever I need to find. So everything is laid out. Android Auto is easy to connect. I paired it with my wire. The seats are also heated. For the front seats, they're also heated and ventilated, so you can cool down your lower, nether regions, which is a good thing in Malaysia. Or you can heat it up if you're, say, I have no idea why you want to heat it up in Malaysia. Maybe if you are in Genting and you need heated seats, I think that's fine. So, but now putting on the ventilation in the seats and all, your air condition get blown to your behind. It's a very fantastic thing here, and the seats are seriously cozy for my size also. So, and they're grippy. This works. The lumbar support works, the lower back support works. There's enough thigh support for very long distance driving. The steering is nice to hold. Pedal shifters if you want to move it. No buttons here. They're just like flat push and press, which is actually very nice rather than a small toggle. I'd rather have a big knob or these buttons rather than a small little toggle. So I love physical buttons also. So easy for me to, when I'm driving fast, say I'm driving about 160 kilometers per hour, running away from bandits, thieves or hijackers, I know, it's a bit hot, air conditioning needs to be a bit cooler, so I can just press it because I know where it is. So that is the good thing about cars like this. It is very well thought out, and I'm very happy with how Hyundai has done this car. I like this SUV, and for the price against the other comparative cars, yeah, you might say it's pricey, but it's sorted. So you're buying a car which is sorted. I'd say against the Chinese cars, which I think would need maybe another generation and a half to be better. This is now. So this is a good car now. China makes good cars, but they are still learning, in the process of learning and in the process of evolving and all to a further level. This is sorted. This is the main thing. So I like this car, and that is my review of this Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid Max, I think. Well worth the time I took to try out this car. I actually didn't want to jump into car reviews right after the new year, but this is the first car that we've tried in 2025, and it is actually good. So a good start to 2025, and let's see what happens next. Alright, till later.